Welcome back to the Ball Does Lie podcast, your one-stop shop for NBA content. My name is Amir. For today's episode, I want to talk about the Golden State Warriors, the return of Klay Thompson back in the Bay Area versus his former team. So this was going to be one of the most anticipated matchups of the early NBA season, the return of Klay facing off against his former team, the Golden State Warriors, in a NBA Cup opener. I didn't realize the NBA Cup was starting. You don't realize that until you see those ugly courts. But this game was specifically about nostalgia, and this battle came down to the wire. So let's get into the game. So Klay Thompson, we know, is now a Maverick, and he was upset with the Golden State Warriors for not wanting to provide him an extra year on his contract, and so he was upset. Won 4 championships with the Golden State Warriors, and was the second best shooter, maybe the second best shooting, 3-point shooting. I'm not going to say shooting guard. Geez, I almost said that. Second best 3-point shooter behind his teammate, obviously Steph Curry. But he had something to prove. He was pissed off, and he came back to his old stomping grounds. And he played pretty well. He poured in 22 points for the night. He showed some flashes of vintage Klay. Like, he shot 6 from 12 from 3. I mean, that's huge. He's been streaky, inconsistent, obviously, as he's older and has dealt with some huge injuries. But when he can show flashes like the past, like he did last night, and score 22 points efficiently and effectively, that's when Klay is at his best. So when it comes to this game, though, it was all about the man, the myth, the legend, Steph Curry. And, of course, he had his late game heroics, as we saw. No one brings it like Steph Curry does. One of the most clutch players in NBA history. Steph was able to deliver 12 huge points in the final moments, in the final few minutes, to help the Warriors clinch a narrow victory. So they won 120-117 over the Mavericks. So I'm sure that felt good for the Golden State Warriors organization, and also for bragging rights, because I know Steph and Klay obviously are brothers for life. And so this game, huge back and forth battle with both teams trading leads, especially in the closing minutes. So Klay was determined to get a win, and that was evident. But the Golden State Warriors have been too good this season. Their chemistry was great, and Curry's iconic shooting sealed the deal for the Warriors. And we all know what Steph does whenever he seals the deal against any NBA team. So while the Mavericks didn't walk away with a victory, Klay's return, was full of emotions and highlights. And after everything he's been through in his career, especially the injuries, to transitioning to a new team, which is kind of crazy to see. It was a special moment for fans to celebrate Klay Thompson's legacy with the Warriors. They still love Klay, obviously a big part of why they are 4-time NBA champions. So going back to this game, though, the NBA Cup tournament, whatever in-season tournament, which I don't care for, was exciting. I mean, it did give a thrilling chapter to this new saga, and it's going to be a night Klay won't forget, Steph won't forget, and the fans will not forget. So my question, I guess, before we end is, do you think Klay has found a good fit with the Mavericks, or do you think this was a reminder that, hey, you should have sacrificed, essentially? They still gave you a pretty good offer and should have not been so prideful and taken what they offered you and retired as a Warrior. We'll see. I mean, only time will tell if the Mavericks somehow win a championship this year with Klay. That's going to be a huge part of his legacy as well. Not many players have won championships with multiple teams, but we'll see. But either way, Golden State Warriors are crushing it to start the season, which a lot of folks probably did not expect them to play this well. They are 9-2, and they're third in the West. So they're crushing it. The Mavericks are 5-6 now, and they're the 11th seed. So it's early on in the season. When it's 9-10 games in the season, you'll see a lot of changes in the standings. So we'll see what happens after like the 20-game mark. But right now, the Warriors look like a much better team than the Mavericks. But anyway, that's all I have for today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you again.